I'm gonna call the meeting to order. So the first thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could all stand, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So next is members present. Mr. Light is on an excused absence. We have Mr. Baracco, Ms. Shimataro, Mr. Doug McAbee. We have Mr. Matt Main, Tracy Sasser, and Sherry Wilkerson are all here today, including myself, Shannon McCafferty. And then next, if we could do the approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting Monday, September 14th, 2020.
So we have a motion and support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, approval carries. Next we have the approval and/or any amendments to the meeting minutes from the regular council meeting from August 10th, 2020.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
We have a motion, do we have a, and we have a support. So all in favor of approving minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting, or minutes approved. Next we have the treasurer's reports from June, July, and August, which are our purple sheets. They're all dated September 14th, but if you notice the highlighted is the separation of months.
Make a motion to approve the treasury report for June, July, and August.
Support.
So we have a motion and support. All in favor of approving treasurer minutes, or treasurer report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is the payments of bills and transfers from August 2020. Those are the green sheets.
I make a motion to approve the payments of bills and transfers for the month of August.
So we have
Support.
okay, we have a motion and we have support on the payment of bills and transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, bills and transfers approved. Can you guys hear us okay out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is public comment on agenda items only. From the last meeting that got a little, there was too much communication back and forth. I was asked by council to remind everybody that this is public comment. It's not public question and answer. So if you have questions, please be mindful that we're not going to answer them right now. We will wait until the end at council comments. If we have an answer, we'll give you an answer. If we don't, we'll table it and we'll try and get back with you. If you could keep your comments to 3 minutes, address the chair, stand up, say your name, and keep it to agenda items only. And as always, I ask that we please remain professional. So, any public comment? Okay, I will close public comment. Next is the report section of our agenda, and that is we'll start off with the administrator's report.
Okay, it's quite lengthy. You all asked me at the last meeting to get some information from our attorney regarding some of the issues that were brought before the board. Like with the dangerous dogs, the attorney reviewed our ordinance on dogs and pointed out that we have a leash ordinance, and he referenced the chapter. And the restraint of dogs states that all dogs must be on a leash on public property or on property of another. If a dog is running loose, then it is a violation of our ordinance, which would then fall on our code enforcement officer to deal with the situation. The attorney also attached a copy of the City of Flint's ordinance on dangerous dogs and suggested that we could adopt this for our needs. If the council so chooses, we could work on grooming it for us. The next item was about employees using personal cell phones. The attorney reviewed our employee policy handbook and found nothing that would prohibit the employees from using their personal cell phones for village business. However, if a FOIA request came in for info on a private phone relating to the village, they would have to provide it. In short, he found nothing that would prohibit us from switching over to personal rather than village-issued phones for staff if the council so chooses to do that. So that's something they can think about. Island use for advertisement. We had some complaints about some of the islands on State Street where the businesses cleaned them up and then they put some garnishments into some flower pots and stuff that related to their store business, which pertained to basically free advertising. So we had several pictures that I also sent to him showing these, and he suggested that they do appear to be advertising for the owner, and he indicated that the village owns the easements and has a duty to maintain those easements in a safe condition. So in other words, there shouldn't be anything that distracts a driver as they're going down, trying, to look. The only thing that really can be in there is the telephone pole, the mailbox, and if there's any small, low-lying greenery. Per our sign ordinance, we have the right to care for the island so as to ensure public safety. It's our position that certain items, primarily the dressed up things in the flower pots on the islands, create a driving hazard. The village has a right to remove them. And also our zoning ordinance gives the village the right to remove the items, and the purpose of the sign ordinance is to regulate signs to protect the health and safety of the public. Section 36.822, therefore, removing the dress figurines would promote public safety by eliminating a possible distraction. So the answer to our code enforcement officer and us, can we have those removed? Yes, we can. We can literally have the flower pots removed if we so choose. Businesses located in a residential neighborhood. I have had complaints about a business, a cabinet business that's being conducted in a residential home. Now, overall, businesses in our homes are allowed as long as they're followed under our ordinances as far as not being blight or distracting, a bunch of stuff piled up around, and I understand this is the case here. So the previous administrator and the previous village attorney had already addressed this, is my understanding. I could not find anything. I could not find a file on this at all in the office. I looked everywhere that I could possibly, I couldn't find anything. I asked our code enforcement officer if he had anything back when, and he said no. So I sent a letter to an email to our previous attorney asking for any information he might have had, and I never received a reply. So I sent an email to our attorney, and his response was, according to our ordinance, a home occupation is permitted in the Village Central Residential District. It lists very specific conditions under which a business must operate. Code enforcement officer has to be the one to determine if they are being met. Under our zoning ordinance, if someone fails to comply, then that would constitute a misdemeanor in accordance with section 36-49. Also, based on the pictures, we could make a case that the business is creating blight under another one of our ordinances. The blight article contains a very specific process for curing and fining people for blight conditions. Therefore, a home occupation business is permitted, but it must be done under specific conditions and expectations. So what we're going to have to end up doing is going forward right now and creating our file on this situation, and that's what we're doing right now.
Perfect.
I have to start from scratch. And then I was asked about a definition of a committee. And Keith, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you going to report on that with your report for the dam committee? Do you want to report on this? You want me to go ahead and report what
No,
I?
go ahead.
Okay. I received a question on what constitutes a committee and what are the duties. As I was once a registered parliamentarian, I answered those questions. However, I was asked to also obtain opinion from our village attorney. He indicated that the Open Meetings Act only applies to a public body. Council, Planning Commission, Zoning Board, those are public bodies. A purely advisory committee is not a public body for the purpose of the Open Meetings Act and its requirements regarding notice, agenda, and public attendance. It's not required. The attorney provided us with a copy of the Attorney General's opinion discussing this. There's nothing wrong with allowing the public to attend or to post agendas, take minutes, and post notices, and etc. Doing so would not change the character of the body or make it subject to the Open Meetings Act forever after. It wouldn't change it. It would purely be for promotional purposes, PR purposes. An advisory committee gathers information and makes a recommendation to the village council. If the committee has a quorum, 3 council members on it, then it becomes a public body. We do have to make sure that the village council is given both the committee's recommendations along with any positions the committee does not recommend. So you have to have both so it doesn't look like the committee is trying to steer you in one way or another. They have to provide both sides to the issue. That way it won't be a subtle decision by the committee. If they were to wean out certain ideas, then they are in effect deciding what the council can do. And then I am also providing you with an estimated distribution funding from MDOT, and it's not too bad for the next 3 years for our community. 2020, $194,362.22. 2021, we're going to get $213,958.23. And in 2022, we're going to get $221,013.76. Not bad.
This is wonderful.
We can put that all toward myself.
There you go. Okay, that's it.
Okay, I would like to add a couple things to the administrative section. The first thing is that I have a question about, and Matt, maybe you can answer me or provide input. Friendship Path. There is a really big old hickory tree that is back there that there's like the mud is sliding and it puts the tree in jeopardy where the tree could like fall onto somebody's property. It could, wreck somebody's property. In talking with people, and none of these people are tree experts, they seem to think, because one of the people had it happen to them where they could like almost build or create like a rock, like a rock riverbed, where like the water could be dispersed away from the tree and the mud could be dispersed away from the tree just to protect that tree that's back there so it doesn't cause any additional harm. I meant to bring you pictures of it and they're sitting on my printer at home. I didn't get it printed off or packed in my bag to come here.
Does it back up to the bank? I know there's one spot where the tank's starting to erode. I don't know if that's where you're talking about.
No, I have the, it's kind of, it's not like to the bank, but it's not to the path either. It's kind of like in the middle. And I'll email you the pictures.
Okay.
And And then also, has that path, or has that been hit with the poison ivy?
Yep, he's sprayed
Okay,
poison
and
ivy.
are we continuing to mow back there now that it's been sprayed?
Just the straight path where the little,
Where the
where they set up for the classroom.
Yes.
I mow that straight path going to that, and that's it. I stop
Okay.
at one going behind the houses.
Okay, so the classroom area, because I got a phone call from the Boy Scout that put that classroom in.
Yeah, that's why I've been going up to that.
Well, it
He
wasn't-
sprayed for poison ivy around that too.
Okay, because his parents were worried that all the work and the money
Right.
that the Boy Scouts put into having that was gonna go to waste. So, okay, I can report back to them then that, their outdoor classroom is.
I'm hoping not to mow the other direction that goes in kind of behind the houses. Hopefully to deter people from wandering behind people's houses right there.
Okay,
That's, I'm hoping. I haven't heard no complaints recently of people back there. So I hope that might detour some people from
okay.
migrating behind the houses.
Okay, then, the next thing is, Sherry, I attempted to view some of the videos that are online, and it was telling me that I had to download some Microsoft software. Do you know why we have to do that?
Neato. I'm working on that. What I found out that I didn't realize is that we have a YouTube station,
Okay.
channel. I didn't know that we did. And we had to reactivate it.
Oh.
And then I had to send it to IT Right, and that's how come we got this last one up, but now I have to get them sent upload
Okay,
the
so are
other.
the links, because I know before we could just view them right on the website, so are the links?
It's gonna be
to
right on the
YouTube
website.
is gonna be
Yes.
on the website?
Yes.
Perfect, okay.
I'm working on perfecting it, but it will get there very soon.
Okay, and then, what's the timeline, like, from the time, like, that you record the videos? Like, what's the approximate timeline from, like, our meeting date to when they'll be posted on the website?
5 business days,
5 business days?
or
Okay.
sooner. I try to do it as quickly, I try to do it the next day as quickly as possible.
Right.
So if we have any issues, we can get them worked out quickly. So
Right.
tomorrow, I'll be sending it to them tomorrow, this one.
Okay, so, I'll pay attention to that
Okay.
then, and, videos with that, business days. Okay, that was all I had for the.
I have a
anybody-
question. I'm just wondering, the islands, somebody just talked to them? Personally, you know?
Yes, they
So
did,
they-
yes,
Somebody
yes.
has reached out to them.
Yes, and then I had a business owner called very upset about being
I'm
talked
just
to.
curious if that first step was taken.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, and then going back to, dangerous dogs.
Mhm.
If the code enforcer has to be called for dangerous dogs, which is protocol,
Mhm.
if, and I don't know if this would be allowed, but this is what I would do if I was in that situation. I would contact the police department. I mean, maybe because if it's in a violation of the ordinance, it is a misdemeanor. They can be ticketed by the sheriff's department. Would it be feasible to put like a dangerous dog, like notification on the website to, contact the code enforcer and/or the sheriff's department and say that, code blah, blah, blah is being violated?
They are recommending that we call the Genesee County Animal Control because they are the ones that handle dangerous dogs. Right now, we are told, that's what we are being told by the
Okay.
sheriff's department. But can we do that? Yes, we can adopt something like that, absolutely, yes.
And then from when the lady was here last meeting talking about the dangerous dogs, when they contacted animal control, I think, and I'm not quoting anybody, but from what I remember, is that animal control had told them that there really wasn't anything that they could do until somebody got harmed.
That was the sheriff's department.
Okay, the sheriff's department can't do anything
I
until
don't think the
somebody's
count,
charged.
I don't think the animal control's been out there yet, honestly.
Okay,
To my knowledge, it has not. The sheriff department has, our code enforcement officer has. That's all I'm aware of.
okay. Okay, but yeah, if we could add like a dangerous dog thing to the
Mm-hmm.
website and like a process, because.
Sure.
I mean, if I
I'll-
see a dangerous dog out there running around, I'm not thinking, boy, you better take a look at the ordinances and see what to do.
I will create something and send it to you and run it by you.
Okay, perfect, thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome.
Our street administrator is, absent today. And then the next is the DPW activity report, so Matt, I don't know if you have anything on the street administrator's report, if you've talked
I
to
can
them.
combine the two.
Okay.
A little bit here.
Okay, so the floor is yours.
Today I met with one of the county engineers. We went over, Goodrich Meadows. We got a rough estimate of about $500,000. Now, that's not counting engineering fees or nothing, that's just basically your road work. There's two ways we can go about this. The cheaper way, which that's the price we got, is basically the real bad spots, like a mill, full depth, take out. There's some curb work to be done in there, there's some catch basin repair, and you're right around about $500,000. Now, if you want to come in there and totally pulverize all the asphalt, start with a new base, all new asphalt, you're talking about $1 million. And that's over 10 years, I believe, right? 10 years is what they,
Normally it is at 1% interest
Yeah.
or 1% above prime.
and he recommended, he said it takes about a year. He said, once you get the signatures, I suggest you go into winter time and you can do all your planning during winter time. So when spring comes around, you can call a contract, say, hey, we want it, let's go ahead and go forward with it, and you can get on a list. So that's what we came up with.
And he kinda, I saw this and he came up with. a
Yeah,
list
he
of all the
kind of did
subs,
a sheet there, gave prices.
which is good, cause you can kinda tell by the prices which is the worst and to the best kind of.
Yeah, like Pleasant Court, the back cul-de-sac, he said the first quarter of it's good, but after that, it's we totally redo, it's shot, especially the cul-de-sac there, it's
Yeah.
really bad.
I guess, how do we get this information in the hands of the subdivision owners so that they can make an educated decision on their subs?
We can create a petition with an estimated cost, because they're gonna wanna know firsthand, what's it gonna cost me?
Exactly,
So we could kind of figure out what it's gonna cost them, say, over 10 years. And then whoever's gonna take the petition around can be armed with that information, and then they can sign it then.
And there's roughly, I believe, about 83 partials in there.
Okay, so I mean, some of these subs have associations, but that's easy, because you can just find who's the head of it. But
Mhm.
some of them don't have associations, so at that point,
It would take a couple of the residents of the subdivision to come in and spearhead it, and get the signatures. You'd have to have 51%. Then we can move
just
forward.
gotta figure out a way to tell somebody at this point, right?
Mhm. Yes,
Make it public.
you gotta get a
Put it in,
couple of
like, some
people.
kind of, mailer or something.
That's what I was thinking, almost like,
We
you know,
could,
like
we
a
could get
post-
you, I could get you the addresses. And I could make the labels for it, that wouldn't be a problem.
Right, like some type of like postcard or,
Something that, yeah, like, have like each of the subs and say, hey, based on some of the stuff we've been doing, here's the subs. I don't know, something we can.
right, because you can't make, I mean, it would be,
You
I
can't go
think it
door
would
to
be
door.
too labor intensive to break out like, okay, this is for this subdivision, this is for this subdivision. So yeah, having it all in one and then, having something, mailed out. And then I would imagine, and it appears that some of this is addressed on here. I know my subdivision, I'm not a road expert, I just drive on them. My subdivision is, I mean, there's parts of the road
There's
that are
parts that have
terrible,
to get
but there are
checked
parts
out.
of the road that don't look like that they would take that much effort or
Right, you
work.
just do a mill.
They would
fill.
just like mill it.
Yep.
So, okay, so let's, play devil's advocate. So in front of my house, the road is deteriorating, it's terrible. There's a bunch of cold patch, there's, you know, the road's just falling apart, but in front of my neighbor's house, it's beautiful. I mean, there may be a couple of cracks or a couple pieces of asphalt missing. Does the subdivision as a whole take part in the entire cost? Like if the cost is $100, if
Yes.
it's, you know, the average cost per household, or is it based on like, I need more work done, so it's gonna cost me more money on my portion of the road than what it's gonna cost my neighbor?
Well, usually if you're a corner lot, it's gonna cost you more.
Right, because you have you're on two streets.
I would,
But if I'm just on, like, my
it's based
cost,
on your frontage.
okay, so my cost would basically be the same as like my neighbor's cost unless they lived on a corner, which they would
Correct.
get,
Are you guys
okay.
an association though, or no?
No,
Okay,
mm-mm.
because usually it's up to the association how they want to divide it.
Yeah, no, I think when my sub was like first born, they had an association, but nobody did anything with it and it all just kind of fell apart.
So maybe if we come out with a thing that says, condition of Goodrich roads, and then you send that out with all this stuff on there that kind of gives you some prices, and then at the end of it, you can be like, you know, if you're interested in getting your road repaired now or something, this is,
Right, come in, sign the petition.
I don't know.
No, they can't come in here and sign it. We can't be a part of
Right,
that.
right. I mean,
They
I'm
have
just,
to take it
Right,
around.
no, I'm, like,
Oh,
if
okay.
I was the one who was collecting signatures, you know, contact this person and your.
I mean, there's
like,
no
have
reason-
POCs for each subdivision,
I mean,
maybe?
I'm just
don't
thinking
know.
right now, we could, summarize this information per subdivision and put it on our website as an informational
Yeah.
tool. And then people then can have an idea what it would cost, and then if that subdivision then wants to come in and get the paperwork to take around petitions, then they could be armed with the information.
okay. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna post this on our Goodrich Meadows.
That would be excellent, yeah. Mhm.
I guess it's basically in the owner's hands.
And just please remember, say approximate, okay? That's not definite,
Yeah,
it's
no, it's-
approximate.
Yeah.
Always use the word approximate,
Yeah, he
please.
has it written right on
Yeah,
here.
he does.
Mhm.
I mean, a general rule of thumb to me is the county used to say $1 million a mile, that's pretty accurate, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
to-
that was pretty much right on there.
I mean, if you did, you know, totally new base, totally new asphalt throughout the whole sub, that's pretty close to it. But you're 1.8 miles.
Yeah, so it's about
So-
$1 million,
There's that, we got chloride coming this Thursday, so we got grade the roads here. And, just back to maintenance, a little bit of weed cutting, lawn mowing, which is, well, I don't know, if you have a extended season, it's growing like a dickens out here right now, so,
It really is.
Yeah.
let's see. Then before you know it, we'll be putting winter equipment on, so. That's about it.
Okay, well, thank you, Matt. Does anybody have any, DPW or street questions from council? Okay. Keith, is Dave out there?
No.
Okay, he told me that he was gonna try and make it, he wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to. Okay, so,
The fire department's in there too.
code enforcement,
Receipt.
building activity report. So in the month of August, we had 3 permits opened. For the year, we've got 20 permits that were opened. 2 residential, construction values of 13,000, permit fees of 445, and total permit fees collected for the year is $9,395.80. So keep on building, Goodrich's. Fire department report. Anybody have any questions on any of these? I'm just gonna kind of cruise through them. Okay, then, the cash receipts report. Anybody any questions on the cash receipts report? Okay. Fire department, sheriff's department. Okay, Keith, do you wanna stand in the doorway? Sherry mentioned you were gonna give the dam report, if there's anything to report on the dam committee.
No, I don't really have anything to report. I just wanted to wait to find out if we needed to publish those meetings or not, and we found out from the lawyer that those are not public meetings, so I'll try to schedule something here in the next couple weeks here and get something going again.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And Keith, are you guys still looking for members?
Huh?
Are you still looking for members?
I don't think just at this point yet, until we kind of get rolling and kind of get our agenda put together and what we want to do, and we will invite more members eventually.
Okay, just wait for a little bit more organization.
Yeah.
Okay, unfinished business, we have none. And we will move on to new business. And the first thing under new business is consider recommendation from Planning Commission to approve request for land division for Michael Fernall, who's the petitioner at 7460 Fairview Drive, Lot 13. This gentleman owns a lot, and he wants to split that lot. Like if it was a square, he wants to split it in half to make two rectangles. So one lot would be on the, on the left side, one lot would be on the right side. Planning Commission did not have any issues with this request to divide the property. I'll go on to items B and C as well. We'll have to vote on these individually, but they all go hand in hand. So there's one neighbor on the one side who wants to purchase half of that lot that they would like split, and the neighbor on the other side of the lot would like to purchase that other half of the property that was split. That way they would each have a lot and a half. The Planning Commission did not have any qualms about doing that. It was pretty cut and dry. The petitioner was okay with it, and the people who want the land are okay with it as well. So at the Planning Commission meeting, they were told, we're gonna recommend to council that these splits and then combinations are allowed, and that they should stay tuned till after the council meeting to find out where they go next. So the first is the land division of lot 13. So we need to have a vote on the land division.
So you need a motion to approve the request, is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the request for land division from petitioner for address 7460 lot 13.
Support.
So we have a motion and support, so all in favor to allow the land division for lot 13 at 7460 Fairview, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, land split. Next is consider recommendation from Planning Commission to approve request for land combination by Patrick and Susan Simeone, petitioners, lot 14 and half of lot 13. So we need a motion to approve that land combination.
You making a motion?
I can make the motion. I'll make a motion to approve the land combination of lot 14 and half of lot 13.
Support.
So we have a motion and support. All in favor of the land combination, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Land combined. Next, consider recommendation from Planning Commission to approve request for land combination Ashley Gotch, petitioner, lot 12 and half of lot 13.
I make a motion to approve the request for land combination from Ashley Goodrich petitioner for lot 12 and half of lot 13.
Support.
So we have a motion and support for the land combination. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Land combined. All right. So now, next up is you, Sherry, correct, notifying them and,
This will then go to our assessor. The assessor then does whatever he does, and then he sends it to the county. And at the first of the year, they will get a new ID number and everything, and it'll be done.
okay, wonderful. Okay, next is to consider the request from Ms. Karen Whitefoot to block off traffic on Windermere on October 17th, 2020, between the hours of 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. to allow for a Halloween neighborhood event for the children. This is a subdivision event that Karen lives in my neighborhood, so if she wasn't able to attend, I was gonna speak for her. They would like to block off Windermere, which is the street that cuts through from Rose Lane to Fox Hollow. It's maybe 2 houses wide. They were gonna set up tables, and families were gonna have to sit together, all socially distant, social distance, mask wearing. If you were sitting at your table with your family, there's no like commingling of tables. So it was gonna be very, COVID friendly. They were gonna have like a costume contest for the kids. They were gonna have like a chili cook-off type thing, chili competition, and then, I think they're even gonna have a mask, who has the best mask for parents kind of contest to include, parents, and just to offer a little bit of fun for the adults as well. Cutting off Windermere does not pose an imminent risk to emergency vehicles, as there are no homes on Windermere. So if there was something that, God forbid, should happen on Rose Lane, emergency vehicles could get to Rose Lane. They can get to the street in the back, I think it's Timberland. And then they can also get to Fox Hollow, because the sub is just a huge loop that goes from East Eagle, back down Rose Lane, Timberland, and then up Fox Hollow north to get back to Eagle Road. So it doesn't pose an imminent risk. So I am seeking a motion to allow Ms. Whitefoot to block off traffic on Windermere from 11 to 4 to allow for a holiday celebration for the children.
I'll support.
Well, we need a motion first. I live in the sub, so I don't wanna make the motion. I'm gonna be out of town, I'm not participating, so.
I make a motion to consider the request from Karen Whitefoot to block off traffic on Windermere on October 17th, 2020, between 11 and 4 to allow for a Halloween neighborhood event for the children.
Support.
Okay, we've got all types of support, so motion and support. So all in favor of Windermere being blocked off, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Windermere is blocked. Will you contact Karen to let her know?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, next, consider Charter Communications cable television franchise 10-year renewal under the terms and conditions of the uniform agreement established by the state of Michigan and set the franchise fee. Current fee is 3%.
And from that fee, the village gets about $14,000 a year.
Oh,
I make a motion to consider the Charter Communication Cable Television Franchise 10-year renewal.
I'll support.
At 3%?
Yeah, the current fee is 3%.
okay, so we have a motion and support. All in favor of the 3% franchise fee, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? 3% it is. Next is auditor recommended line item year-end budget amendment.
Right now, we're going through a virtual audit, and these are recommendations from the auditor that I was told to bring to you, so I am bringing them to you. It's line item adjustments.
These are items up to now
Yes,
that have.
well, for
changed-
2019,
changed.
I mean 2020,
I'm sorry.
yes,
For
yes.
2020, it's to get the, budget in line with expenditures.
Corrections.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the audit recommendations for line items year-end budget amendments.
So we have a motion,
I'll support.
and we have support. So all in favor of auditor recommended line item year-end budget amendments, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Carries. Budget amendments are good. Next, item G, consider rescinding council action taken on August 10th, 2020 to purchase 2 speed radar signs not to exceed $5,572 and consider offer from Alon City to purchase 2 Evolis Twin Pack 2020 speed radar signs for a total cost of $5,499. So there's a bit of a savings there if we go from one company to another company.
May I?
Yes,
This is twofold. If you choose to consider this other choice, I need, and the maker of the motion is not here, so I need the one that supported it, which is Tim Bracco, at the last meeting, to make a motion to rescind the last action that they took at the last meeting to authorize the purchase of 2 radar signs from the county. That's what I need done. I need that done.
What's the backstory of that? There was something to do this though. Why rescind?
Well, because basically, we were told that, well, the motion that you guys made was not to exceed 5572 for 2 of them. One alone, because there's other things that we have to have. We have to have the universal bracket and the battery pack. So everything together, just for one, was 3126, which would have been over the authorized amount that we were allowed to spend. It would have been 6252 for the 2 from the county. Then this came in, and this twin pack here, we can get 2 for $54.99. And I don't know if people can see it, but they have these little, we can put thank you on there and slow down, and they're very nice. They're portable. And they also come with a free data pack that we can keep track of. It's 99.9% accurate, and it's bi-directional. It's not just one direction, it's both ways. So overall, you're getting basically 4 signs for 2, because it's both ways. And they're movable, and they're all solar powered, and this includes everything that's necessary for them. And the cost would be $54.99, if you so choose.
So first thing's to get the rescind, right?
Rescind the previous action, yes.
I make a motion to rescind action that was taken on 8/10/2020 to purchase 2 speed radar signs that were not to exceed $5,572.
Support.
so we have a motion and support to rescind the action from August 10th for the radar signs. Roll call, just to be formal.
Baraco,
Yes.
Simicaro,
Yes.
McAdie,
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes. Okay, so that motion has been rescinded.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of the Elicity 2 Evolis Twin Pack 2020 speed radar signs for a total of $5,499. And I don't have to worry about tax there or anything, is that I'm good? Okay.
That's why I was
Just wanna
wondering.
make sure I got the number right.
Okay, so we have a motion for the $54.99 twin pack We're looking for a second. Were you gonna say anything?
No.
Okay, it does not appear that we have a second.
Okay, so dies from lack of support. Okay, you can move on.
Okay, next is the consider installation of IP backup for Sonatrol security alarm at an installation cost of $600 plus an additional monthly monitoring fee of $20.
What is happening, if I may?
Yes, please.
What is
because I'm-
happening is we have, and I'm sure everybody who lives in the village knows, we have intermittent internet connection. It goes in and it goes out. And when that happens, it knocks shuts down our security. So this battery backup for our security system would keep it going. There'd be no interruption. And right now, we pay $61 a month, so it would go from $61 to $81 a month. But right now, it keeps getting kicked out. Every time they come out, they hook it back up, and then a couple of days, it works good for 2-3 days, and it gets kicked off again.
It doesn't come back up online by itself? or
No,
anything?
no, I get messages that it's offline. I get phone calls.
So if we lose power or something?
Mm-hmm.
Seem reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's on public record that the building's not secure when the power goes out or the internet's down, yeah, I think it's kind of a need.
I make a motion to approve the installation of an IP backup for Sonatrol security alarm at an installation cost of $600 plus an additional monthly monitoring fee of $20.
And why does the monitoring fee go up if, I mean, the service is just the battery backup, is that what they're monitoring for an additional $20? Is the battery backup?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Yeah, if you notice, we don't, it's not like we own the battery backup, it's just the installation cost, so it's in them, and that $20 is probably for us to be able to use it. So,
Good point.
like you write your modem for your cable and all
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion for the $600 for the battery backup plus the additional monthly monitoring fee of $20.
I'll support.
So we have a motion and support, and because this has to do with money, we will,
Quick question,
yes.
before we vote. Is that systematic of this neighborhood, the whole village, or this building? What's the, are people down the
I've heard
street
complaints
having
from
problems?
residents that the internet is intermittent.
There is intermittent internet service all the time in the village. I consider myself lucky, I haven't experienced that in my neighborhood, well, in my home. I know neighbors have posted on our Facebook
I see
page.
that,
Yeah, that, anybody's internet down, so, I don't know if it's in, in this section of town or that section of town only, or if it's all of the village at once, but it has been happening.
And that's through charter?
Yeah.
The internet is, yeah.
Yes.
Charter.
Have they
Yes.
been contacted?
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
You gotta wait.
Can I just,
You
what is the battery backup gonna do for internet?
gotta wait. Okay, so, we have a motion and we have support, we've had discussion, so now let's roll call it.
Baraco,
Yes.
Shimataro,
No?
McAbey,
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes. Okay, now, next on the list is public comment. on items not on the agenda. So this can be public comment on anything that you would like to publicly comment on. I ask again, that I said in the beginning, that this is public comment. It is not question and answer forum. So if we have an answer to provide to you, we will address it in council comments at the end. There's not gonna be any back and forth conversation. We'll address it at the end. I ask that you take 3 minutes. If you do have public comment, if you could stand, state your name, and please keep it professional, like I've always asked. Yes.
Doreen Hagnes. I'm curious on the paperwork that you guys all have about the roads. Were they prioritized? I know there was talk about getting all the different areas prioritized from like worst case to not as worse. And then also, I'm curious if the dirt roads are included in that. That's my first question. My next question or statement is about the easements. I know from the description, I know where that area on M15 is. And in front of that business, it was a great improvement over how it looked. So it was stated that it is the village's responsibility to keep that easement up. I personally would like to see the DPW maybe have a schedule where they actually clean those easements, because compared to how it looked to how it looks now is a vast improvement. So that's it.
Thank you. Public comment, anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Simeoni.
Can I go back to that last question?
Sure, what was your question?
So, Sherry, what, they want, battery backup, that's for the internet service?
No,
So,
no, it's not for the internet service, no.
Okay, you can ask your question.
oh, I'm
If
sorry.
she'll have an answer for you.
What's it, my question is that, or my comment is, being in the field, I know what I'm talking about. And I don't want them to sell us on something that we don't need, or it's not gonna work. Battery backup is for power. It's not gonna do anything with the internet service. So, a battery backup system is a UPS system. And you can buy them at the store if you want to. That's just my comment on that.
Okay.
So, I would suggest you check into it, because what I'm understanding is the internet's going down. Well, that's not gonna keep the internet from doing anything at the battery backup for electricity. Unless we're having problems with electricity, then the battery backup's gonna work, right? My next question, at the last meeting, I asked a question about taxes going up for roads. And I got a response from the board that we did not raise taxes. But then at the meeting, when we had the tax increase to 6.9.1 or 9, we said the money would be earmarked for roads with the new millage of the 1.59 mills for roads that would be put into a separate account and not spent on anything else. In 2019, I should say the 2018, the tax rate was 5.3251 mils. 2019, we went from 5.3251 plus the 1.5939 for roads, bringing it to 6.919. When we found out it couldn't be done, it got adjusted to 6 mils. 5.3251 plus 0.6749 for roads, which on our tax bill was earmarked roads. On the current tax bill we just got, it's no longer marked roads, it's marked, it was put in to one lump sum. So my question is that we did get an increase on taxes, and we did have 0.6749 earmarked for roads. My question is, where's that money? Because we told the people that we would not spend that money for anything else but roads.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, I will, close public comment. And, council member comments. I will start out, the PASER study. We got the results from the PASER study, and that was what identified, the need, correct, or what ranked the roads in the village.
Correct.
So is that PASER study available to the public?
Sure,
Is that, or can we make it available to the
Absolutely.
public so people can see that?
absolutely.
And then the other question was, dirt roads. Were the dirt roads considered in the paving projects?
No.
No.
No, okay. The, easements, and, I don't think it's a bad idea to have, you know, our islands cleaned up. So if that could be, discussed internally for, you know, I don't know, once a month or something, to go and just kind of check on them and see about the, easements to clean up along 15. Mr. Simeone, you were asking about the battery backup for internet. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not for the internet service itself. Currently, our alarm system is only connected to the internet. This battery backup would connect it to electricity, so when the internet was down, the alarm system would still work via electricity, notifying Sonatrol like back in the day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Any
Yeah.
type of security system already has a backup battery system. The battery's right inside.
Okay,
And
well,
again,
we'll have to get a, you know, a better, answer for you then, but that's what we
I
understand.
don't need answers.
Okay.
I'm just letting you guys know.
And then the taxes, Sherry, do you?
It's still in the budget, it's right there, it says it. It's right in your budget, right on that front page. It's, the money that was pulled out, it's right there. We just haven't spent it. About 69,000. We just haven't earmarked it for anything yet.
But it is held separate?
Yes,
That was the question.
yes.
Okay, last, for me on public comment, or council comment, is, I hope everybody had a nice holiday. It's getting kinda cool out there. Kids are back in school, hopefully with people who have kids in school, hopefully there aren't any outbreaks or any issues at the schools, so we could all keep the little kiddos in mind, and some of us parents who are dealing with online schoolers, keep us in mind too. But other than that, just hopefully the next meeting, the governor will lift some of the restrictions, so we won't have to have people sitting outside. My other suggestion would be to kind of have us like lined up in the doorway and have the audience members, if it's not freezing cold, sit outside. That way we can have as many people as we would like, because we're outside. So, that's all I have. Anybody? You got anything? Anybody?
I think it was a productive meeting, yeah, good meeting.
I have a
Mhm.
short list.
Okay,
Can I
your
ask
short
one more
list.
thing, real quick?
Pardon me?
Mm-mm.
You missed it.
Mm-mm.
You missed it.
What's that?
You missed it.
Okay, Shannon.
Go ahead, Doug.
This is a strange way to have a meeting, we all agree to that. I think we should be looking at having Zoom meetings almost regularly. Even when things get back to normal, we need to, this is no way to have a meeting for long term. I'm doing a Zoom tomorrow, my wife's on there, she's on twice today. It's easily done, and if we can, get people to watch, let them have some input. I don't think it should be considered a temporary thing, really. The sign issue about the speed signs, I've been on both sides of that. I know I voted yes, I voted no. The battery backup, I understand that's, we need to ask some more questions on that. But overall, I think, I think it's time. I know it's difficult to tighten down with money, but I really don't like what I hear north, when the people up there are being forced to replace that dam in one municipality. It's $4,000 for 40 years, $160,000 parcel. And we really gotta get going on this dam. We really gotta get going on it. If that thing blows, what do we do? I think we need to step it up, start having more meetings. I wouldn't mind seeing a notice in the paper. We need to, we had an outline of how to conduct, where to start. And we haven't done much on that. We seem to be centrally located. Almost everybody on the committee lives within a stone's throw of each other. And we're gonna get some grief over that down the road. But I think we do need to start having meetings. I agree with Keith. It's time to start having meetings. And I think his intent was to get things organized and then meet. It's time. We've had a free pass for years on that dam. And it's not getting any younger. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No, I think you guys are gonna start having more, dam meetings. They were waiting for the reply on what's considered an open meeting act violation and what's the definition of a committee. And, I think meetings were placed on hold because of clarification on that. So, now that that's clear, that, you guys don't have to, I mean, you're an advisory board only, you don't make decisions. So I think you guys will start having more meetings and, hopefully some more members within the community. So, all right, well, the next thing on the agenda is adjournment. And I will make a motion to adjourn. We have lots of support, so meeting closed, 7:04.
I thought there was an article in the newsletter about asking for volunteers for the dam.
There was.